Let's go, Arkansas fans. Did you just land the next great running back with Jaquindon Jackson coming over from Utah? Comment below. Do you believe he'll be better than Raheem Rocket Sanders next season? So I decided to chart a few of his performances. We're going to take a look at everything from his running ability, pass protection, catching out of the backfield, and I'm going to give you a little background information on him. And look, when you think Arkansas Razorback football, the position that they've probably been the best at over the last couple of decades has been running back. So this game is actually from his true sophomore season. So not this past season, but the season before when Utah played a really good Penn State defense in the Rose Bowl. And you saw in that very first run his ability to break tackles. This is absolutely excellent stuff. So we stop it right here. Linebacker has him dead to rights. He was unblocked coming right through here. And we all know Penn State's history with linebackers. It's really, really, really good. And look at this spin move to get out of that tackle. But there's still work to be done on this 3rd and 1. He's got to pick up this yard right here. He not only does that, but he breaks not 1, not 2, but 3 other tackles to take this on in. Absolutely incredible stuff. All right, so I want to start with the positives, and we'll get to a few potential red flags in just a moment. The first thing is his ability to break tackles is as good as you are going to see. Okay, you see this run in the background versus Baylor, breaks through 2 arm tackles. So I want you to see this hole. It really isn't there, right? There's a tiny hole, but it closes really quickly. He breaks right through that one, and I want you to see how hard he is, how hard it is to bring him down, right? This is what you like to see, pushing the pile forward. This is what you envisioned Sam Pittman physical teams to look like. I want you to see what he does on the very next play. Okay, now remember, this is a Utah offense that was without their starting quarterback Cam Rising, so it just puts a lot more on the running backs to go out there and make plays. We do get a big hole. Does a good job feeling this out instead of just running in. He sees it really quickly, and watch this. Okay, get off me, all right? Guy has an opportunity to make a play, and then once again, falling forward for all these extra yards. He's still not down. That is excellent, excellent stuff. Also, something else is he's thick, all right? A lot of my longtime Power Hour viewers will tell you I love thicker running backs in the SEC. So this play is absolutely perfectly blocked, okay? Everyone is executing their assignment. We still need you to break a tackle right here. You could argue in this spot, you would like to see him jump through here a little bit quicker, because if he's able to, he's housing this for a touchdown. Now, ironically, in this situation, it works out better that he doesn't score because Baylor doesn't get the ball back quicker. But still, you see him just continuously breaking tackles, falling forward for extra yardage. All right, so we get back to this Baylor game, and it's kind of the same thing, right? Beginning of the game versus USC, you're able to displace these defensive tackles. Same thing here. I just need you to bang it up in there and push this pile forward. And you'll see he took this guy head on. Very physical run. And look at all these extra yards. That's at least an extra 5 or so after the initial run. Yes, it does help that these offensive linemen are pushing you forward. It's really good stuff. Now, another big bonus for me with Jaquindon Jackson is his toughness. This was a guy who battled an ankle injury all last year, and he just kept fighting through it. I love that, right? There are so many guys that would have just folded, and he just kept going, right? So just the all-out toughness for this team is pretty impressive. Now, we get to the negatives, and it's going to sound crazy. This was Jaquindon Jackson's longest run of the season. This is a positive and a negative for me, okay? You see him break that tackle right there. You see him break another tackle right here. You see him break a third tackle right here. And, of course, that slowed him down some. The first thing, though, that kind of stands out to me is the lack of a top-end gear. Now, how much of that is the ankle injury? I don't know if he had been hurt up to this point. This is a relatively early point in the season versus Baylor. But you do lack that top-end home run hitting ability, right? I would consider him a better tackle breaker than Rocket Sanders, but maybe just a little bit slower, right? I think Rocket gave you just a little bit more home run hitting ability, but of course we'll take a 44-yard run with all those broken tackles any day of the week. And once again, this was a relatively decent block play, but you still got to make this guy miss. Is that holding right there? Don't really care because that still doesn't take away from him. With all these guys with a really good shot to bring them down, they still can't do it. That cutback ability right there is really good. He's not really a wiggle guy, but he does have some jump cut ability. It's just not having the elite home run hitting speed. And that's okay, right? The other Utah back that he shared the backfield with, which was Glover, he also wasn't an elite home run hitter. In fact, they went to a safety. They converted him to running back, Vaki. That ended up being their big guy, not only as the explosive run guy, but also the explosive pass-catching guy. Now, before we get to this next red flag, Underdog Fantasy has a trivia question for you. Which running back holds the record for catches in a season? Now, before I give you that answer, I got to shout out our friends at Underdog Fantasy. They got higher lowers. They also have drafts where you can win big, $3 to win $20K. Are you kidding me? But here's the catch. You got to sign up using my promo code Carter. If you want to support independent folk like myself, please go do it with Underdog Fantasy. And the answer is Peyton Hillis. In fact, he led Arkansas in all receptions for any position twice. 49 catches in a season. That's insane. Shout out to you, Peyton Hillis and Underdog Fantasy. So Jaquindon Jackson has been the opposite, okay? Now, before I show you this rep, I want you to take a look at this stat. Look at the disparity of the amount of carries, yards, and production, and the catch disparity. Only 10 for 61 yards over the past two seasons combined. That's pretty crazy. Now, some of that is because Utah has had running quarterbacks, guys that could run. So that does cut into your check down ability. And it's not that Jackson can't catch at all. You'll see right here as a check down, he makes a catch. That's something that Bobby Petrino, of course, can coach him up on. It's just not really been a big part of his game, right? Vaki is part of the reason why they started, converting a safety to a running back. This is after those Jackson runs you saw a minute ago versus USC. They take him out of the game so they can just get a faster, more explosive running back in the passing game. I would have liked to have seen more catches on Jackson's reel, but that's why they converted a safety, right? If Jackson as a running back could make catches like this, they would probably run him on these types of routes, but they don't, right? Because Vaki just gives you a little bit more explosion. So that's where a Dominion is going to need to step up. Now, I think part of why he's not had a whole lot of catches is because of blitz pickup, right? Pass protection isn't his best trait. Now, I would consider this a decent pass blocking rep right here from Jackson. So his job right here is to pick up this linebacker coming on a blitz. This is not an easy assignment, but if he does pick this up cleaner, the linebacker here, now once again, this isn't bad. It's not bad at all, really. It's just not great because this linebacker does eventually get his hand up and make this play. It bats down at the line of scrimmage. If he doesn't make that play, this is a catch for a first down. Not the worst pass protection, but not the best either. So this right here is just bad pass protection overall. Now, he does get spooked because there are two players that get through here clean. So he gets through and this second or third level safety gets through and he misses both of them, right? So whiff there, and that forces Barnes to roll out here to the right side. So that's going to need to get better. And then we get to here, okay? This is a hard assignment to pick up, okay? Your job is to pick up any scraps coming off the edge. He had no idea that it was going to be a defensive tackle. This is Bear Alexander out of a transfer from Georgia coming around the edge. So you got a huge defensive tackle breathing down your neck. And, you try to chip him, okay? Doesn't look all that physical, and that is a little too easy. Even though that is a DT, I need a little bit more right there. Now, before I share that with you, there are plenty of ways you could support us. Please hit that super thanks button in the bottom right corner of this video. You can also send me an independent donation, Venmo and Cash App at Carter the Power. So, J.Q. Jackson is actually a quarterback coming out of Duncanville High School. This is one of the most loaded high school programs in Dallas. He was a very successful quarterback, and he initially was committed to Texas, okay? And he left Texas to then go to Utah as a quarterback, and then they eventually moved him to running back. So this has been an interesting ride for him. And one thing that is kind of interesting is this is a year 5 player. So he was a 2020 recruit. 2021, he barely played. Then in 2022 and 2023, he became more of a featured running back when he fully committed to the position. Had 9 touchdowns in 2022, only 4 in 2023. So he lost some goal line work, but I do think he is a good goal line back. I do think he's the best running back in this backfield for Arkansas, and he will be the RB1 next season. I understand Dominique Johnson has a great story, and Rashad Dominion is the one running back out of Arkansas's Big 3 last year that stuck with the program. So I know a lot of you are going to want Dominion to be the guy. Augustave and Braylon Russell. This is a relatively big Arkansas running back room. Here's a depth chart for you right now via Trey Biddy. I love thick running backs. I do. I've shared a lot of data as to why in the SEC it's important to have bigger backs, and J.Q. Jackson obviously fits that mold. Now, a little human interest side of the story is this is a guy who's played with a heavy heart, all right? He lost 2 of his closest friends at Utah when he played. So Utah, you got to think about it. That is a long ways up there. Now he comes back to Fayetteville. Now it is a little bit of trip from Dallas to Fayetteville, but still he does move closer to home, and he does come from a winning program. I really do like him, but this is why that pass protection stuff is so important. A lot of you watch my film studies throughout the course of the season. Arkansas's pass protection stunk this year from their running backs. Absolutely atrocious. Some of that is scheme, but it's going to have to get better, and I do think Bobby will get it better. So you guys comment down below. Let me know what you think. I obviously spent a lot of time on this. Give me your honest, objective viewpoints on if you think Jaquindon Jackson is going to be the next in line of all the great Arkansas running backs, and it is ridiculous when you really look at it, how many great RBs have come from the natural state or played for the natural state school. It is Power Hour SEC. Boom! Shout out. Best of Arkansas sports. I mean, there's all kinds of Arkansas websites that share my stuff. I really appreciate you guys, and keep sharing them in those message boards. Tonight we are doing chicken quesadillas, baby. Let's go.